So let's just quickly go over um, what the goals are of this. And let me just open this one up in a separate window. So here what I want to do is manipulate many to many. This is just something for the people who are watching this later. I know you guys already know what's going on here. And then displaying many to many info. Okay, so the goal is that many pizzas can have many ingredients, or let's call them toppings. Okay, so let's create that right now. So let's Django admin start project. That's where I installed Django. Don't worry about the name. But I already checked the pip list, and it has Django installed. Okay? So here, Django admin start project. Let's call this many to many example. Okay, cd into many to many example. Let's go cd, make dir apps. Make dir, actually, I don't need to do anything in there yet. So let's cd into apps. Let's Python 3 manage.py start app pizza app. Okay, let's look inside. Let's go into pizza app. Let's create urls.py. Okay, let's make directory templates. Let's make directory templates / pizza app. Okay, let's go back out. Did I miss any steps, guys? Yeah. I did miss that. Okay. So let's do our setup of the app. So here, I'm going to add it to the installed apps. So apps.pizza app. Okay. Cool. Let's also do the URLs right now. So there's this URLs and that URLs. So here, I'm going to import include. I'll get rid of this URL with the pattern of starting. Include apps.pizza app.urls. Okay, let's go to this URLs. Let's go import into here the same stuff. Okay, let's get rid of the include because we probably don't need it. And then I'm going to say from .import views. And what I'm going to say here is let's just create a views.index. Okay, and this is going to be the root route. Awesome. So in views, let's say def index request return render of pizza app / what is it? Index.html. Let's just call it index.html. Okay. And let's create a new file. Okay. So where do you guys want to start? Do you guys want to start from the models side or start from the views side?
Side, I think, so we can see what's going on.
So let's make the models and then we'll go and make the template. Okay? Sound good? Okay. So in the models, we need this. I'm not going to do the validation through the manager. I'm probably not even going to have validation. You guys can just add that on your own. I just wanted to really focus on the topic at hand, right? That cool with you guys? Cool. So let's say class pizza. This inherits from models dot model. Okay. So pizzas, they'll have a name. Here, I don't think I need a max length. Okay. Let's do like a description. Text field. Whoa, this chair. Okay, there we go. And let's create a price. Float field. Okay. Now, what properties should our toppings have? What do you guys want? That's an example. That's an instance of a topping, right? That's not a property on toppings. A name, right? That's the general property that all toppings have. Right? Well, I'm kind of being like dumb and coy on purpose so that you guys can really think about what you want here, right? So what else do you think we need? Huh? Depends on your version of Django, but I'll just add them. Do you guys want one? Let's not do the prices because that could get into like adding the prices all together. That's kind of crazy. But yes, you need not the foreign key, but you need the relationship, right? So what was the relationship between pizzas and toppings? Many to many, right? Everybody clear on that? Have any questions about why it's a many to many? Yeah. Oh, you wanted to ask? Okay. So think about it this way, right? In like a pizza restaurant, right? It can't be a one to many because that means that either a topping can only belong to one pizza or a pizza can only have one topping, right? But you know, pizza places they have different pizzas with the same toppings on them, right? And you can have multiple toppings, right? Like a meat lovers and a combo at a pepperoni and a combo at Costco both have pepperoni, right? So that's a many to many relationship. Okay. Anything where you're adding to an associated list between two models. For example, on the exam, you had your favorite quotes, right? Just think of that as a many to many. Okay. Yeah, that would be what I do. Okay. So the parallel here is that the list of toppings, right, is kind of like the list of favorite quotes. Okay, just same thing, different words, a little bit different, right? And it's a little more in isolation, right? It's not attached to a user. Okay, cool. So here, let's say pizzas equals models dot many to many field. Now, what is this going to be associated to? To pizza. Okay. Now, what would we think of for the related name? Toppings. Right? What were you going to say, Alejandra?
I was just going to say pizza toppings.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody have any questions about why I named these things the names I did? Yeah. Let me repeat the question for people at home. So the related name, it can be anything, right? But the thing is, it's like the same thing as like variables or methods, right? You saw in algos today when I shorthanded my variables as S, M, and E instead of start, middle, and end, it didn't make as much intuitive sense, right? So it's anything you can call it, but The only restriction is it can't be the name of something that's already inside of either model, because then it'll get confused and not know what you mean. Okay? Typically, I name them plural, right? Because, again, toppings have pizzas that they belong to. Pizzas also have toppings that they have. Okay? Cool. Any other questions about that? Could I write this in the other order? I can't, right? The only exception is a foreign key, right? Foreign key always has to go after the class it belongs to. Okay, cool. So I think that should do it. So what should we do next? What do I do? Well, how can I add stuff to the database? Is there a step that I'm missing? I need to migrate, right? I also need to make migrations. Okay. All right. Cool. Now, what do you guys want me to do? Would you prefer that I add things through the console and then use the template to show them, or create the template and use just that to manipulate the items in the model?
I've been manipulating with
The template, right? Because I feel like that's faster overall. So let's do that. Okay. So let's create our HTML. Let's get rid of the default markup. Okay. So let's say, how many forms do I need here? This is just going to be like a single page application, right? Or it's going to have basically a big page where I create pizzas and add ingredients, and I'll click on a pizza and I'll see the ingredients on it on its own.
You need a page, so you need a form to create your pizza with the available toppings, and you also need a form to insert different toppings into the database.
I would separate it out so that on the wireframe I didn't show the pizza create, right? So you create the pizza, you get redirected to a page where you can add toppings separately, okay? And then on that same page, you could create more toppings if you wanted to, okay? Sound good? Cool. So here, let's create a form. The form action here will be to pizzas. So let's say h2, create a new pizza. All right. Let's use my favorite HTML element, field set. You guys like field sets? It's the best for making garbage HTML look like a little rung above garbage. Okay, so let's say method equals post. All right. Now, what were the properties that I wanted? So name, description, price. Okay, so let's have p tag name. Ooh, I do. Okay. All right. Input type is text. This will be the description. Let's make this a text area instead. Its name will be name, and then text areas need a closing tag. So there we go. Let's also have the price. So we'll make the price and make that equal to, there was a price element in HTML? That's weird. Anyways, so we'll say input type is number. Min is equal to, let's say 1 cent. And then step equals 0.01. Okay? Yeah.
Is the text area name the input type name also? Is that going to cause conflict?
Oh, thank you. I should rename it to description. Cool. Okay. So does this look good to everybody?
I see.
Hmm? Name's right here.
Number. Input number.
This one? I need a name for it. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? All right. Cool. So let's go to views and URLs. So actually, let's not jump the gun here. Let's start up our app. What did I mess up here? I needed to render with request. I always do that. Hello, there we go. Okay, so let's just manipulate the price. I can go up by 1 cent, awesome. Description, I can enter in text. Okay, cool. So right now, we don't have the URL for it, right? So let's add that URL. So I'll say URL. The pattern would be, what would it look like? Okay. I think it was plural in the, yeah. Okay. Is that it? Slash, and then?
You could put the dollar sign here.
I would say you need to put the $sign here. Okay? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another route that grabs a specific pizza, right? So when I grab that specific pizza, it's going to be like pizzas /1. So if I don't put the $sign, what would happen?
You would only see pizzas.
Yeah, right? It would just match to pizzas because that was the pattern. Okay? Views.create. Let's call this pizza. Okay? So here in views.py, let's create the function. Okay? So what do I want to do here? What do I want to do? What is the purpose of this route? Right. So let's just put in that little safeguard. If request.method double equals post. Then what I want to do is just grab the form information and create a pizza, right? So in order to do this, am I missing anything? No, that was created right here. Just looking at views.py. What am I missing? I need to import the model, right? And let's also import topping, okay? If request method equals post. Okay, now I'm going to say pizza.objects.create, right? And then I'm going to say name equals request.post name. Description equals request.post. Oops. Description. Price equals request.post price. Okay, sound good? All right, then let's say return redirect. And let's just go back to slash for now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to redirect to that individual pizza's page when I create it. Okay? So let's also import messages. So from Django.contrib import messages. And then I'm going to say messages.success request created a new pizza. Okay? Yes, I do. Thank you. Okay. All right. So name. Let's just create a combo that has the most ingredients. Huh? a little of everything. Okay, how much do you guys want this pizza to be? $2.99. Wow, we are a discount store. All right, so let's submit. All right, you call this URL via post, but the URL does not end in a slash, and you have append/set. What happened here? Right here, right? Let's wait a little bit. Oh, that's right. I need to actually refresh the page. Does everybody understand why I need to refresh the page right there? Yeah, because the HTML changed, right? So even if I refresh the page, oh, obviously I don't have any stuff to view the messages. But let's see if it actually went through. And let me add the messages stuff. So Django messages. Somebody asked me on the exam if it's fine to copy the code on the example here, and I was like, go for it, man. Don't even worry, because I'd be a hypocrite if I said I couldn't let you guys do it. All right, so let's refresh the page. Huh?
Pretty sure everybody does it.
Yeah. Okay, created a new pizza. All right. Awesome. So we know that pizza exists in the database, right? Now what we need to do is let's think about how we're gonna go to the page of the individual pizza, okay? Now this is something that's not explicitly on your exam, but it's something to think about, right? So after I submit this form, I want to get redirected to that pizza's page where I can add toppings. How'd that go? We're,
HTML for that.
okay,
For pizzas.
sure, let's do that. So what I like to do for these kind of things is I'll call this show pizza.html. Now on the HTML, right, what I'm going to do is just have a big statement that says this is pizza's show. Okay, that's it. All right, just to make sure that we're actually hitting that page. Okay, now in the URLs, how am I going to write that URL? It looks like a p tag, right? So yeah, the character group. Yeah, it goes like something like this. Character group, something like that, right? And then what should we call this thing that we're creating?
Call it
Num?
Well, yeah, it's basically.
Well, what's the unique information about a pizza? It's the ID, right? So let's just call it ID for now. Okay. Now, what is the pattern for these IDs? I could just say D plus, right? Something like that. Does that go inside or outside of the parentheses?
It goes outside the parentheses.
It does? So it looks like this? I think it's like this.
Oh, you're in the large sign.
Okay. Something that I tend to like to do is if I'm on a route that renders a template, I like to name the method and the template the exact same thing. Okay? Just to introduce some consistency. So, okay. Let's go and create show pizza. Okay. Now, let's just return a render of request and pizza app slash what? Show pizza.html. Okay. So let's create a new pizza. I'll create Hawaiian, right? I will begrudgingly add this. How much should a Hawaiian pizza cost? 1,000. Thank you. 10,000. All right, submit. All right. So I didn't get redirected. What happened? Okay. So here's another little tricky puzzle, right? How do I grab the index of the currently created pizza and add it to the not the index, the ID of the currently created pizza and add it to the end of the URL I'm redirecting to? But the thing is, regex is for the pattern, right? We're not creating a pattern here. We're actually passing a value into the pattern, right? So what can we do?
Plus,
Like this?
direct, and then after code, you have to say plus and then pass the ID.
Save the ID. So if I want to save the ID, what should I do? Is there anything that has to change with this code? Can I grab the ID of the pizza I created right now? Is it possible? I can't. Where it's not in a variable, right?
You need to save it into the variable.
Exactly.
Grab the ID, save it to the variable.
So new pizza equals something like that. Okay. Now, if I do plus, what data type is an ID? It's an integer. Can I add strings and integers?
You need to say string.
Okay, we could do that. We could convert string, right? And I could say new pizza.id. That would work. Okay.
What, how can we do, like, what is our, like, other option to do it?
You could use the dot format function. Whatever is more familiar with you guys. Okay. If you want an example, what I could do is I could just say dot format new pizza.id and then just create curly braces here. Same thing. Okay. But overall, I think this is a little more readable. All right. So let's see. Let's see if I can make that work. So what would be, what other pizza do you guys want to make?
Margarita.
Okay. Oh man, I can't spell that. Huh? Okay. How much should it be? Wow. Okay. Show pizza got an unexpected keyword argument ID. What is this error talking about? It doesn't tell me where I got the. It doesn't tell me where the error happened, right?
So we need to pass the new created variable with the request. I mean, to the show pizza.
So you're talking about connecting this thing to views? Yep, you're right. Okay. So that error is linked to not having the ID there. Okay, so if I refresh the page, I get to this is pizza show. Cool, we've made it, right? Hooray. Okay. So here, let's think about what the HTML should be. The HTML here, let's just have like a field set that has a form that creates new toppings. Okay, so h3 create new toppings. Now this is not adding the toppings. This is just a form to create new instances of them. Okay. Now this is going to be to /toppings. Okay. Let's add the csurf token. Okay. Let's add a p tag. They have a name. So input type text, name equals name. Let's grab this. Okay. What else do they need? What else does a pizza topping need? That's it, right? So, rhetorical question for you guys. If this was something where I'm creating a foreign key relationship, right, would I need to add an input field for it? It depends, right? It depends on what it's related to. If it's related to a user, then you don't need to create an input field. You can just access session and grab it, right? If it's not related to a user, then you might need to add an input field, okay? Just, I don't know, just something to think about. But since it's a many-to-many, right, when we add to the many-to-many, we're not manipulating the pizza or the toppings tables, right? What are we manipulating? The middle pizza toppings table, right? So because of that, we don't need to add that as an input field, okay? All right, so let's just say input type submit. All right, let me grab the indexes stuff for the messages, add that to the top. Okay. Let's see. Let's create, what should we create next? URLs in view, right? All right, cool. So URL, toppings, views dot create topping. Okay. So views.py has a create topping function. Here, I need request, and I don't need anything else. So just grab this. If request method equals post, so new topping equals pizza topping dot objects dot create name equals request dot post name description equals request dot post description. Okay. Let's just say messages dot success. Added topping to database, and let's return a redirect. So I want to redirect back to the same pizzas page, but how can I grab it? Can I grab it right now? No, right?
So you send like other function, other URL, then render again like.
But even in that other function, I'm not going to have access to the ID.
So we're gonna do same thing about the.
We could use a hidden input, right? We could also use the URL, right? I'd say for the sake of simplicity, I'll just add it as a hidden input because really it's not affecting what the topping belongs to. It's just there to just tell me to redirect back to that URL, okay? So again, this is a little bit outside of like the specific targeted things I wanted to talk about, but it is an interesting problem regardless. So here, let's have an input type, and let's have it hidden, okay? And the name should be the pizza ID, all right? And the value, what's the value? I need to grab the pizza, right? Okay. So let's say right here, on the views.py, which views.py do I need to manipulate? Huh? It's not on create topping. It's the show pizza page, right? Why do I need to add it to the show pizza page? Because that's the one rendering show pizza.html, right? If I'm changing what's in here, I need to change the view function here, okay? So let's say pizza equals pizza.objects.get ID equals ID. And that'll grab the pizza with that ID, right? Let's just say context equals pizza, let's say the pizza here, and the value is the pizza. Okay? Let's add context. Now what I could do is, let's just say we'll have let's have a p tag, which is the pizza's name. Okay? And here, the value for the hidden input will be the pizza's ID. Okay? Sound good? Okay, so let's refresh the page. So this is for margarita pizza. Now, let's create a new topping. Let's inspect element. And let's make sure that our inputs for the hidden input are what we want them to be. Yep, the pizza ID is 3. Okay? So here, now I know that when I create the topping, right, I can redirect to, what is it? /pizzas/ this thing coerced to a string. Where is it stored? Request.post, right? Okay. So I think we have what we need to create some toppings. So let's refresh the page and create a new topping. Margarita pizzas, what do they have? They have tomato, right? Okay, tomato, basil, and cheese. So we'll make one, and then we'll add the logic for viewing those things after. Okay? Description, I don't know. It's a fruit. Okay? Okay, apps.pizzaapp did not return a response. It returned none instead. That's an interesting one. You don't have to. When you create an object that's in a many-to-many relationship, you don't need to add values to it. That's what I was talking about with the foreign key stuff. If it's a foreign key, it's different, right? Let's put it this way. If the pizza belongs to a store, then when I create the pizza, I need to tell it what store it belongs to. When I create the toppings, I don't need to, right? Because I'm not manipulating the pizza table when I add toppings to it. What table am I manipulating? What's the ERD look like? The middle table, right? I don't add any values. I don't modify the pizza table in any way when I add toppings to it. Therefore, I don't need to have it as part of my form, okay? Like on the exam, when you registered a user, you didn't have to put in all the quotes that you liked, right? Okay, cool. That's a good question though. Regards to this error message, what happened? Let's do a little troubleshooting here. Let's see if you guys can get it. So where would I begin to try to figure out what the problem is? Okay, let's look at create topping. Does it seem like there's anything wrong there? New topping equal topping.objects.create, messages.success, return redirect. Well, I have a return redirect right here. So what could be going on? Redirect automatically creates HTTP responses. Think about it. If this thing returns a redirect, but Django is telling me it didn't, if I put 2 and 2 together, that means that this if statement is not firing. What does that mean? Boom, right there. Okay. So I'm gonna go a little slower, but I'm gonna try to go over every single error that is like kind of out of the blue and see if you guys can handle it. Oh yeah, exactly, right? Because I changed the HTML. So tomato, or not tomato, it's a fruit. Okay. Okay, let's see what this error says. Reverse for WSGI argument not found. Request pizzas plus string. Oh, I don't need to say request when I redirect. That's a little puzzling, so I'm just gonna go and skip that one. Oh, I created 2 tomatoes. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, let's actually go into the console. So Python 3 manage.py shell. Okay. All right. So let's say from apps.pizza app.models import topping.objects last remove. What is it? Is it delete? I always forget the name of it. There we go. Okay, so if I say topping.objects.all.values, there's just one. Okay, cool. Let's get out of the console, run the server again. Awesome. Okay, so now that I've created a topping, let's have it show in our show pizza page, right? Because that's where I'm going to manipulate and add toppings to the pizza. Okay? Where am I going to run the query? This is something I really wanted to emphasize, right? Because I feel like a lot of the times what's hanging people up when they're getting into the more complex stuff is I know the query I need to run. I know conceptually what to do. Where do I do it, right? So where am I going to run the query to get all the toppings? What page am I adding toppings with? Show pizza. Okay. Cool. Now I can iterate through the toppings in my, oh, not the toppings, it's all toppings, in the HTML, correct? So let's say create new toppings. So right here, let's say, oh, not a nested field set. Do I want a nested field set? Maybe I do. Okay, so right here, I'm just gonna iterate through all of the toppings, and I'm gonna print out the name and description, okay? So what do I need to do in my template? Loop, thank you. Can everybody see this all right? Should I blow it up some more? Is this better? It's kind of hard because VS Code like forces the sidebar to go get bigger as you increase the size. I should change that setting. Okay. All right, and 4. Okay, so let's just say we have a p tag, right? And let's just say okay. Cool. Let's add some more toppings now. Okay. Huh? Wait. For margarita pizza though. I mean, it's not necessarily associated with it, but let's create the things for margarita. Let's just add olive. To heck with it. Wow, we're getting really like, oh, we need dough, right? So for olives, what's interesting about them? Belong in the wrong margarita. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Okay. And then let's add what was it? Cheese. Basil. I believe basil is a part of it, right? Cool. All right. So this is going to be where a lot of the fun stuff happens, right? So what is the desired layout of this page? So let me write that out, kind of do the wireframe right here for you guys. And let's talk about the problem that we're going to have to solve. Okay? So right here, we want a field set and right here, let's say list of toppings on okay, and then here basically let's just create like a h1. Okay, let's not worry about making that logic yet. Let's just create the layout. And then here, okay, so what happens is I click on a little button next to this thing that says like add, right? I click it, it goes away from this list, goes into that list. Okay? Sound good? All right. So the problem that we have to solve is making the route for this, right? It's twofold. We need to make the route for these little add buttons, and we need to figure out how we can make this move around, right? So let's talk about the adding toppings first. Okay? Cool. So what I'm gonna do is I want to think about what information do I need to send from the HTML page, right? So that when I add a topping to a pizza, that it would work. What are the two things that I need? The topping name. What's unique about the topping? The topping ID. Okay. Think about the table. What does that middle table have? The topping ID is 1. The middle table is basically a list that says this topping belongs to this pizza, right? So what's the other ID I need? The pizza ID, right? So I need both the pizza ID and the topping ID, okay? If I'm going to make this a link, that's a little tough, right? Maybe I could just make it a button that's a form. Did they tell you to do it as a link in the exam? No. Was it a button or is it a link? I forget. So it's a link. Okay, so let's do it as a link, okay? So let's say right here, let's create our link. A tag, the href, let's say it's nothing so far, and add this topic. Okay. So if all I have is an href, but I need to pass 2 IDs, how do I do that? name and value, we need to pass two IDs, right? A tags do not have name or values because A tags send GET requests, not POST requests. So this is where, huh?
Make like a separate function and just reference that function.
How so?
It'd be like slash and like do a function instead of your views and pass the IDs.
Okay, I mean, that's the right idea, right? But that's just like any other route that we create. The only place we can put the two IDs is in the URL, right? So I'm going to say pizzas slash, I'm going to pass the pizza ID in, slash toppings slash the topping ID. Okay? It's not that crazy. It's just a key value pair, right? Key, pizzas, value, the ID of the pizza. Key, toppings, value, the ID of the topping, right? It's the same stuff. Okay? Cool. Why did you not have to deal with this on the exam? Because one of the IDs was already in session for you, right? So this example is a little tougher, okay? But I still wanted to talk about it, okay? So if you have a link that you need to send information through, like IDs, you have no choice but to send it through the URL. You have no other method of sending stuff, okay? So let's just go and look at the add this topping link. Let's inspect it. So the href will be pizzas 3, toppings 3, right? And then if I go through and I pizza 3, toppings 1, pizzas 3, toppings 4, pizzas 3, toppings 5. Awesome. So we have all the info. Okay? So let's make the route for this. Okay? So here, let's just say pizza's ID, that's fine, right? I'm going to add on to this pattern. So all that changes, right? Let's think about what we can copy paste here. It's pizzas, then digits, then toppings, then digits, right? So all I need to do is copy the pattern again, put a slash, right? Put the word toppings in here, and then I will make this a little more a little more specific and call this the topping ID and the pizza ID. Boom, I've created the route. Okay? Okay? Any questions about this? Huh? Huh?
2 commas there.
2 commas? Oh, thanks. Okay. So let's just create our views real quick. Def add topping to pizza. Let's not forget the additional parameters. First was the pizza ID, then is the topping ID. Okay. If request.method double equals post, then what? Then we want to grab the pizza and add the topping to it, right? What did that query look like? Can I write it in one line of code? I mean, I can, but it'd look kind of weird, right? So let's split it up. We can start from either the pizza or the topping side, okay? I think it makes more sense to start from the pizza side, so I'm going to query for a pizza. ID equals pizza ID, correct? All right? And let's just query for the topping too. Okay, sound good? Now, how do I add to the many-to-many field?
You say topping.
Let's start from the pizzas, because that it rolls off the tongue a little better.
So start from pizzas, we need to say pizza dot related name.
Dot add, right? And then the object we want to add. Pizza.toppings.add topping, right?
So our related name is topping.
It is. Okay. Any questions about this? Makes sense, right? Now what do I need to do? I need to save the pizza. Okay. Now, grabbing the pizza ID to send it back to that same page, it's not an issue, right? Because I already had it in the URL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to return a redirect to slash pizzas slash, and I'm going to convert to a string. I'm going to say pizza ID. Okay. Sound good? Okay. So what I'm going to do is when I go to the, let's see, actually, let's add a descriptive message. So I'm just going to concatenate and say I'm going to grab the pizza name and the topping name and then just say I added those two together. Okay? So refresh the page. All right, let's add tomato. Oh no. Why did I just did this on impulse, but it's not a post request, right? Let's change this to get. All right, cool. I added tomato to margarita pizza. Okay. So let's add the cheese and the basil too. Cool. Now, this is where I like to be before I start thinking of all that complex, like, oh, I gotta make sure it gets away from that list and adds to the other list, right? I just want to make sure I can get the things in the database first. Okay? Cool. So let's first talk about how I get the toppings on a specific pizza. Okay? Where do I run the query? Is it in the views or in the template? Exactly, right? And you want to loop through that associated name. So right here, let's make this loop in the template, and the list of toppings, right? What would our for loop look like? So I would say for, let's call the name topping. Actually, let's call this, yeah, let's call it topping. In, how do I grab the toppings on a pizza? You have to call the related name, okay? When I get pizza.toppings, I get a list of all the toppings that belong to that pizza, right? So that's all I need to do. Okay, now let's just create some p tags with the same stuff. Oh heck, I could, since I use the same variable name, I could say this. Just paste that in. Let's get rid of the a tag for now. Let's just say that. Okay. Many related manager object is not iteratable. Uh-oh. Did I mess up? What is the problem here? Where is the problem? It's not in models.py. How it can't be in models.py. Well, for the most part, it shouldn't be in models.py. Let's think about the file that we just most recently edited. The template, right? So objects are not iteratable. How do I convert the objects into arrays in Django? We add .all. Okay? So the general rule of thumb is if you see this error, just add a .all. Okay? Cool. All right, so now let's do it so that we can take out these items from the list when they get added to the other. Okay? Where should I run this query? Should I run it in the template? What would that query even look like? I wouldn't run it in the template, right? It's for one, in Django's templating, you can't run like filters. It doesn't let you do that, right? So what we need to do is we need to go back to the show pizza and but that's a query, right? Okay, sorry. I cut you off there, but were you talking about running it in the template or in the view, Martin? The view?
We're gonna say if the specific item in that table, in that area, don't show, like, and then opposite to the second.
So Django does that for us, right? With what Leo said with the exclude function. Okay? So the exclude function will just go through and grab all the ones that don't have a value. Okay? So let's call this available toppings. Okay? So what am I going to write in this exclude? So what is the relationship here? But I'm on the toppings model. What's the relationship between toppings and pizzas? Pizzas, right? Okay. And pizzas, I could say, what do I pass into the exclude function? I pass in like the related thing, right? And the things I want to filter in or filter out, right? So I want all toppings whose pizzas are not which pizza. It's not toppings, it's the pizza, right? Yeah, just a second. I want to make sure that this works first. And then now on the show pizza, I can say on the bottom for loop, okay, so it works, right? So what is a query that grabs multiple things look like in Django, right? Let's say I wanted the toppings that did belong to the pizza. Then I would run the filter, right? Now, on the topping model, I need to grab the name that references the pizza model, right? And in this case, that was pizzas, right? Why do I need to do that? Because I want to look for everything that belongs or does not belong to a specific pizza, okay? So here, this is like the inside of the filter statement. Think of it like a where in SQL, okay? It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar. You set a key, which is the name in the model, and it's equal to a value, which should be an object, or if it's a string, it's a string, right? But here, when we use the many-to-many field, we need to grab whole objects from the ORM, right? And make those the value, right? So it's kind of like saying where not pizzas is equal to the pizza I just queried for. Okay? You guys seem a little bit still confused about it. What about it is confusing? It's just new?
Like, what's the difference between exclude and filter? Because like I said that I want to exclude the pizza that's already has the topping. So that's how it works, right? Like the bottom part and the toppings were removed. We excluded that pizza that has the topping. But can't I just say that if I want to do the opposite, I can replace that with filter and then just put topping inside instead, right? Are they like?
I see what you're saying.
Are they like interchangeable?
Yeah, we could do it. We could do it that way. So another way we could do it, right, is we could say, let's create another query. So let's organize this. So let's say, right? The reason why I did it this way because it's a single query, right? But let's do it with multiple queries because I think that might make more sense. Okay. So let's say current toppings, and these are the toppings on the pizza. Okay. So we're going to start from the topping model, and we're going to filter, right? Now the filter statement's pretty easy, right? What do I need to filter against? Well, it's still called pizzas, right? And then what should it be equal to? We already have an instance of the object right here under the pizza variable, so I could say the pizza, right? So that's our current toppings. Now, what I could do is I could reassign available toppings to be topping.objects.exclude current toppings. Okay? Let's see if it works. Oh no, too many values to unpack. Oh, that's, let's see, we need to say current toppings. Let's say put a star in front. Would that work? No, topping object is not iteratable. Hmm. I don't think that's it. I think it's because the exclude isn't going right. So what could I do? What do I need to do? Well, here, let's contact the documentation, but I'm pretty sure what I need to do, just as like a first guess, is say ID equals, or ID, ID equals current topics. Okay? So Django queries. I think that's what I want to do. Exclude many-to-many. So many-to-many. What was I going to do? Exclude. Relations can be set, can be cleared. You can clear from the other end. Delete. Let's say topping.objects.exclude. Let's say ID equals available. Current topics. Let's see if that does it. Yep. Oh no, it didn't. Right? So how could we do this? What do you guys think? Okay. Hmm? Let's see. Field lookups starts with, ends with. Let's say filter query objects distinct reverse exclude. So when I pass multiple things in, because I don't know how to reference myself in there. Because, maybe I should not do an exclude, and maybe I should do filter. Because there I could say pizzas not equal to. Let's see. Let's see if that works. Name pizzas is not defined. What? But it's right here. Oh. So let's see. How can I look for here and say contains exact, I contains in. These are the field lookups, right? And this is what we would look at to make sure that we can grab this stuff. Okay, what if we said ID in? We could see that. See if that does it. Choices are, oh, dunder. Oops. So when you do field lookups, right? No. Contains. Oh yeah. Let's look at exact. So that would only work for one value. Case sensitive context, but I can't see. This is all for looking up a single thing. In is for a bunch of things, right? That we want to say ID in 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we need to do is we need to grab the IDs out of this thing, right? So what could I say? Well, let's look it up. Convert query set to list of IDs. Okay? Answers.valuesListId flat equals true. That looks good to me. So right now, what we want to say is C toppings IDs equals current toppings dot values list. So the values list function, let's look it up. So the values list function, what it does is it takes query sets and it converts them into flat arrays, right? And you could pass in what columns you want printed out. Okay, so it's going to be an array of these different columns. So if I say values list, is this an old answer? Oh my god, this is from 2010. Wow, definitely should look that up. Okay, so list, okay, entry.objects.all. Okay, so here, what I could do is I could say, I could convert it to a list. And I want to say dot values, and I just want to grab the ID. Let's print C toppings IDs. This is getting a little crazy, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's starting to become a little more complicated than the original. Okay. So what does the values function need to take in? Values. So the values method gives you ID. Can I make it flat? Oh, values list is an example. Okay. And then I can say values list flat equal true. Okay, awesome. Okay, that's a little crazy. Let's get rid of the list here. Okay. All right, so now let's say ID in C toppings IDs. No way. Maybe ID equals? Oh. This is for an exclude. ID in. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, it's a little hard to convert, like, because the tough thing about ORMs is that dealing with, like, these nested queries, right? Because basically what we're trying to say is give me everything from the database that does not match this other query, right? So that concept is called subqueries in SQL. And basically something that ORMs kind of have to have an answer for, but they all struggle with it a little bit, is how do you write subqueries, okay? But anyways, I don't know. I don't like this method. Sorry, this was a pretty long digression, but let's just scrap that, okay? I really don't like this method. Still works, okay? I mean, that's pretty much it, right? We had like a really long tangent at the end, so sorry for that, but apart from that, I think we accomplished everything we wanted to.
So if we say add, it will add to the topic. And if we say delete, it will need to go back
Oh yeah, let's do the delete. That's totally unfinished, right? Okay. So let's think about what we need, what information we need. We need the same two pieces of information, the two IDs, right? So here, let's grab the href, but we need to make it a different pattern, right? So the different pattern would go, where the heck is it? There it is. Okay, so let's just reuse this pattern, but add something to the end of it. Let's just add a delete to the end. Simple enough, right?
I'll double check that. I'll be back, guys.
Remove topping from pizza, right? That's all we need to do. So our logic is going to look fairly similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to say def, what was it called? Remove topping from, right? Still the same three parameters. Okay. So let's just copy this. So how do I remove related fields in many-to-manys? Huh? That's it, right? So it's not too bad. So let's just grab this.
But it will remove from database, right?
Yeah.
What if we don't want to remove? We just want to show, not to show, then show the bottom.
No, that's what I'm doing here, right? That's what remove does. Pizza.toppings.remove topping, right? That shouldn't delete the topping. When you call remove on a many-to-many, it just removes that row from the table in the many-to-many, that middle table. It doesn't touch pizza or toppings. Okay?
If you put delete there, would it then delete stuff?
I think, I don't know, I never tried it. Okay, okay, so let's just go back and grab this, return redirect. All right, so let's delete it. All right, we can add it again. You can delete it. You can add it again. Okay, so let's make sure of something. Is this individual to each pizza? Awesome. So I could say on combo pizzas we have, what is it, like sausage. I'm not even gonna add descriptions. What else is there? Green onion, olive was already there, pepperoni is already there.
Bacon.
Bacon's not on combos. I'm talking about Costco. Okay, so let's add all these. So green onion, sausage. I brought leftover pizza for lunch today, so you guys are wondering where this is coming from. It's from there. Okay, now it works. All right. So to summarize what we were going to talk, yeah.
Can you delete this? So, delete.
I need to spend like some more time making a delete feature for the toppings, because right now I don't even have like a list of all the toppings, right? Deleting items from the database.
No, over here, if you say like olive belong in the word margarita, I'm saying what if we want to put it back to the toppings?
We just click delete. Olive is back here now.
Everything up there is in a relationship. When we remove the relationship.
Any questions about that? You guys don't seem very
This was helpful.
like, was this helpful? Like, you guys are all just like kind of, yeah?
At this point of time. It will take a month for us to do.
I mean, aren't there assignments where you can do stuff like this or not really? Right? Because all this is like, okay, so here's the thing. If you're having trouble with manipulating many-to-many relationships, do the belt reviewer. Okay? If you're having trouble displaying information in many-to-manys, do sports ROM 2. Okay? If you guys have already done those, then do them again, right? Like without looking at your previous code. You know, it's just repetition. Okay? Try to do it in a different way with a different query. See how that works. Maybe it's easier, maybe it's harder, right? But I mean, yeah, just keep trying it. Okay? Your friends here are the exclude function. The exclude function was really big here. And just knowing how to pass IDs into it. Where is it? Right here. Right? How to pass key value pairs of like the name, the field, and then the value, which is a bunch of objects. You know, that's it. Okay. Cool. No? Okay, cool. Let me just try one last thing. I'm gonna end the video. Well, you guys can go, but I'm gonna keep recording and seeing if I can do this available toppings in an easier way. So if you want to stick around for that, go ahead. But yeah, you don't have to. Objects dot exclude. How'd that look? Oh, that worked. I did it. Okay, I got rid of all that garbage. Okay, so this is how you can do it. I could say topping.objects.exclude pizzas underscore toppings equals current toppings, right? Because I needed to call the related name.
So everything.
So the, huh? Yeah, so that double underscore, think of it like a dot, right? So you want to access a field on the related many-to-many. So pizzas themselves have toppings, right? So to access the pizza dot toppings, you say pizzas dunder toppings. It's kind of weird like that, but then I say it's equal to current toppings. And then now that I'm comparing these two query sets, it actually works. Anyways, I mean, yeah, still works. Okay? Cool.